Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ludo History. As always, my name is Adam, your resident historian, and we are back with more Steelrising this week. We're going to push on with the main campaign after it completely blew me away last time with the quality of historical nuance. It inspired a lot of thoughts within me that I've been dwelling on. So hopefully we'll get a chance to dig into some of those while seeing also what Monsieur Marat in our main campaign is going to be like. So, I hope you are as excited as I am. And if you are, do make sure you are followed to make sure we are notified for all the other historical games that we play on this channel, this stream, and all future ones. And if you really, really like this, do consider subscribing with Prime, or sharing bits, or just hanging out and chatting, because all of that helps out a lot. Without further ado, though, let us get into it and continue with Steelrising. Bot sent notif late again. Rip. How long did it take? Let us see. That was a while. Yeah, that was goodly late. Oh, that's sad news. Rest in peace, Angela Lansbury. That is big news. I don't like that news arc. She was a big deal, right? She was a huge part of my childhood. The amount of murder she wrote that was on TV in my house as a kid should not be understated. It was enormous. So, hugely informative, and or hugely formative and informative. We can do both, and I'm sorry to hear that. Now, in the game world, before we go and meet Marat and move on with our main story, we need to go find this extremely unsuspicious person named Joseph Balsamo. Balsamo is Cagliostro's actual name. Just it's just him. Which is, a bit weird. I like that he's like, oh yes, I'm definitely not me. What are you talking about? No way I'm me. Nope. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. I appreciate that boldness. Oh dear. Once again, we seem to have gotten hit by some technical difficulties. I am sorry, chat. I can't do anything about them. This game is just dubiously optimized, I would say. Such spooky music. Good lord. Hello, trumpet player. Amazing. You can endure the chugginess in solidarity with the chuggy robots. Well, that is sweet of you. I don't know that we should have to endure it, but I appreciate you enduring it nonetheless. Okay, well. Huh? There's so much ominous music. I feel like I don't deserve this sort of ominous music. Ow. You missed. You super missed, and you're dead. Okay. Well, that was exciting. And there's nothing here. Okay. One alchemical capsule and a hole in the ground. Hello. I have no idea where I'm going. TBH. Kyra, you put this on your Steam wishlist. Good. I think this being on people's wish lists is an extremely good thing. Just because there's a lot, right? There's just a lot in here to like. And even though it's a bit jank, if you got a machine that can run it, it's one of those things I think is definitely worth your time. Rolled. Heck. I got rolled. I got rolled again. He hit me with the baseball swing. I got caught. I have no idea where I'm going, by the way. This is not, I think, the road to Balsamo's Cagliostro's workshop. It is just an interesting direction to be going, and to see what I might find. A surprisingly low number of rats. TBH. I know I shouldn't be saying that so close to Plague Tale, where my criticism will be, there are somewhat too many rats, TBH, but that's fine. Ow. Jerk. Now is a great time for Roborats. That would be excellent timing, and an enemy type we haven't seen yet. Then again, I think Roborats will kind of suck in this game. Like, I'm not totally confident, but I think Roborats will kind of suck in this game. Ow. Oh, I actually got the parry and it didn't matter. Ow. Stop hitting me with an axe. Honestly. I said stop. 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 Oh. We found something. We found something. Hello, Athenais.
Monster. What do you want with me? Wasn't it enough for you to steal my dancer?
I'm merely obeying the king, mademoiselle. Don't be afraid, you and your beloved machine will soon be reunited.
Uh-oh.
On my word.
Uh-oh. That's not a good sign.
Voila, here we are. Do you see that window? That's where she's waiting for you.
Good hit.
Sale petite peste. I suggest you don't try that again.
Aww. It's 100%.
What could have happened to her in this workshop?
It is 100% us. Amazing. We went the correct direction without even fully realizing that we were going in the correct direction. Ooh, you love Athenais' design, but also run. Yeah. What is the warrior spirit doing up here? Well, hey look, that still suspicious window is apparently where we are. Wait. But yes, I can confirm that Athenais' design... Ooh. Cares...
This notebook appears to be very old. I should show it to Abbe Grégoire.
A Latin manuscript. Alright. Well, that's fine, I guess. I guess that's fine.
Balsamo. So that is the name that the Comte de Cagliostro uses to conduct his business discreetly.
Giuseppe Balsamo. Born in Palermo on the 2nd of June in the year 1743 to use the name and title of Alexander Comte de Cagliostro with full rights and in all circumstances. Hey look! Giuseppe Balsamo is, you know, his actual name. Cagliostro is an alias. It's speculated that the alias is, that is of one of Cagliostro's relatives. But it is not fully clear or specified. Yoink. Monsieur Lecoq, I regret the unforeseen difficulty of which you have informed me. If we do not put an end to it soon, the smooth running of our operations could be impeded. If, as you claim, the dancer has indeed left Saint-Cloud for Paris, she is attacking our machines with the facility you described, I demand that you discover as soon as possible the nature of the malfunction that allows her to ignore the order she was given and learn why she has, you know, betrayed us. I do what I want. I think that is the nature of the, materials is that I do what I want. Are there funny pictures of the manuscript? There might be funny pictures in... There might be funny pictures of the manuscript, but we don't... Oh, God. Oh, good lord. Cagliostro, what the fuck? Right, from a pure game studies perspective, I mean, there is something extremely compelling about... Right, you could make an argument that the nature of the malfunction is that the player exists, right? Not that Aegis exists, but that the player exists. That would be a not, why does he have a skeleton in a box? We'll talk about this room in a moment, but to finish that thought, this room just gets worse the longer I spend there. right? Where, this is drawing on my friend Aaron Sudoku's, theories mostly. But, right, the player themselves becomes really the core thing that shapes the world. And so, right, I mean, we are simultaneously a black woman who is also a robot, in 18th century Paris. But we are some supernatural, right, we are some, like, higher order entity that is enacting order in the world. Exactly. Also one-shot, which does a lot with who the player is relative to the protagonist. Exactly. That's a great example. There's a lot of, like, small games, like Doki Doki Literature Club does a lot of the same stuff. Undertale does some of that stuff. One-shot does it phenomenally well. But right, you can apply that same logic to a lot of other games. From a in a specifically, like, historical lens, I don't know that there's all that much useful to come from that in this game in particular. Right, there are historical games where I think you could do a lot. One of my pet theories of Twitch integrations that I've talked about is, right, reenacting the wars of the insubstantial, right, angels and demons, etc., that permeate late medieval and early modern thought by having Twitch chat help or hinder us. Right, that's one of my pet, just, like, things that would be cool if it could happen, if someone could explore that in practice. But, right, so there are ways in historical games where that can actually do a lot, and that separation can do a lot. In this particular game, I don't think that's necessarily going to come up with as much useful. Hello, 10 months of Prime. Thank you, Billy Ward. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this game proves that Marie Antoinette didn't say, let them eat cake. She said, let them eat nuts and bolts. Hey, remember, in this game, Marie Antoinette is based. The game takes a very apologetic approach to Marie Antoinette. And so, she neither says let them eat cake, nor let them eat nuts and bolts, but rather, eat nuts and bolts, you my stupid husband. Of course, historically, she also did not say let them eat cake. That is a common aphorism assigned to whatever noble we don't like in the 18th and 19th centuries. And so Marie Antoinette simply gets hit with the, we don't like you, therefore you said you are out of touch with the world. But yes, this dude, I was speaking of, like, Cult of the Lamb style Twitch integration, as having that potential. Mirabeau. Request that you contact the intendant of the police of the city of Grasse to have my daughter Louise Marquise de Cabric taken to the convent en Rue Tarcastel. He shall entrust her to the care of the Visitation Sisters, who... Jesus Christ, Mirabeau. What did you do? Mirabeau? Mirabeau? What did your daughter do, and what did you do? Nothing gayer than crimes and cheese? Amazing. Anyway, let's talk about this room, because this room is, has a lot of things going on. So firstly, that is a portrait, except that it's not a portrait, right? This is just a spooky, macabre sketch, right? If you look at that, that just looks like it's a macabre sketch, but no. It is an anatomical model of a dude sitting cross-legged, honking. Just hanging out. Curled up, vibing. Meanwhile, over here, we have some people who are distinctly not vibing, having been subjected to truly stupendous amounts of violence. We have creepy spiders, because everyone hates spiders over here. Which, you know, these particular spiders, incredibly valid. Like, this is just a phobia. I swear, this workshop feels designed to be primarily evocative to me of horror asylums, right? If you look at this and say this is the room with a bunch of chains in it in every Resident Evil game ever, I would say, yes, it is. And so, right, they're not leaning into I mean, well, there's at least a vague allusion to some of the paraphernalia and aesthetics of 18th century chemistry. You know, the jars of vials there. I think the primary influence here is of the horror room and the mad scientist laboratory. Asylum aesthetic. Right. Like, this is absolutely the creepy castle asylum space. Needs more porcelain dolls to add to the creep factor. Hello. I am the porcelain dolls. Oh no. Monsieur de Comte, I am still unsure of your true intentions. You and I both know the dispute between us that led to my flight. Despite the distance that now separates us, what I witnessed you doing still haunts me. And now you seek my help to perfect my art of suggestion? You believe I will give you, whom I know to be capable of the worst, the means to deprive an innocent person of all free will and make them a docile servant? This leads me to believe, monsieur, that you have lost all common sense. Dr. Franz Mesmer. Yes, I gave him a goofy German accent. Don't worry about it. Uh-oh. Hey, I'm glad you appreciate it, but it is silly. Aw, hey look, it's us. Hey look, it's us.
You're so beautiful. You'll stay with me always, n'est-ce pas? Without you, mon ami, I'd be all alone. This box is covered in astronomical symbols. It's no use. I can't get it open. I should show this to Monsieur B.
No. Ow, my heart. I wonder who the woman in that was. Well, that's supposed to be her mother, because then that implies adoption. Huh. Well. We are continuing to go all in on occultism. Well, this place is depressing. Let's get out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. Okay, IDK had to interpret this because I've been trying to interpret people being given a large, especially chain link necklace as being symbolic of giving a person a collar under the guise of a gift. We unfortunately have already seen Athenias' father, Eugene de Vaucanson, and he is, very much white. But yes, right, I think the usual alternate there, Madrasa, is that giving a large necklace that is not an heirloom is usually, like, quietly a bad thing. As in bondage, right? Trapping someone.
What is the significance of these objects steeped in memories?
Nemes. I have reread every work that I have on them. Pages that have remained unintelligible to this day. These echoes go back to the beginning of time, to that fateful day in ancient Greece when some dark magician took it into his head to bind a soul to an inanimate object. You see, Aegis, there is nothing more diabolical, nothing more unnatural than this sorcery. The soul is the very essence of the divine. It refuses to submit to such an abomination and resists, eventually breaking. The earliest necromancers whose works have survived through the centuries all describe the same phenomenon. When a soul is fragmented, 3 shards of memory are torn from its consciousness and take shelter in 3 objects that the victim held dear. It's as if these memories wish to remain bound to the mortal who had held them until then.
You what? Okay. That happened. I mean, does that reflect 18th century thought about necromancy, which was understood to be black magic, not death magic? I don't know. It definitely reflects 16th century thought, right? 15th. If this was 15th or 16th century, I'd be 100% on board with this. Oh yeah, you know, they did necromancy in ancient Greece. That's where, like, the original sorcery books come from. This is fine. I don't know off the top of my head if that persisted into the 18th century. My instinct is yes. But the idea that this is calling on diabolical forces in order to try and entrap the soul, which then resists, is an accusation thrown all over the place in late medieval sorcery things. How is black magic different from death magic? So, the word necromancy is derived from Greek necromancia, prophetic magic or prophetic divination using corpses, right? Necros, death, mancia, divination, or knowledge, I guess. In the Middle Ages, this is reinterpreted in a bit of a folk etymology to, instead of being necros, to be from the Latin adjective for black. So it becomes nigromancia. Right. And so then that becomes specifically using diabolical forces and invocations in order to manipulate changes in the world, rather than invoking the saints and invoking God in order to accomplish the same things. This doesn't really get codified until the early modern period in Italy first, where you start to get a lot of further breakdowns into, oh, but we're only doing it to learn about demons so we can better resist them, and that's what gets identified as white magic versus black magic that is definitely evil and bad, we promise.
I found this notebook written in Latin.
Indeed. Medieval Latin.
Woohoo! It's garbage. They also. It just says quote a bunch, by the way.
I would recognize it anywhere. It's in Nicholas Flamel's own hand. Give me some time to study this, and I'll tell you what I'm able to glean from it.
Have you finished reading the notebook, mon père?
Oh, that was
Yes,
fast.
Aegis, and what I learned from it puzzles me.
Uh-huh.
In this diary, Flamel tells of 3 journeys.
Mm-hmm.
3 journeys into what he calls the in-between.
Mm-hmm.
A strange world filled with wandering souls.
This is a
Tormented
forgery,
spirits
chat.
that are unable to ascend to heaven.
This world. It's where Cagliostro's victims were trapped until I freed them.
En effet, I believe you're right. But that's not all. Flamel plans
Of course
to
it's Flamel.
return there
Come
a
on.
4th time. He wrote this in the final paragraph, in his handwriting, dated 21st of March 1418.
Hey, that's actually...
That was the day before he died, Aegis. What if his body died while his soul was traveling through limbo? What if he were trapped, a prisoner in this purgatory? Aegis, because of your unique nature, we have an incredible opportunity.
What do you mean, mon père?
If the soul that animates you has been bound to the automaton that serves as its vessel, then it can be separated from it too.
Hey,
And if this were the case, the soul would travel to purgatory, where Cagliostro entraps the souls of his victims.
Hold on. Are you trying to convince me to go and find Nicholas Flamel?
I'm offering you a chance to speak to the man who discovered the Philosopher's Stone. Surely you won't pass it up.
Assuming I agree to venture into purgatory, do I even have a chance of finding him there?
Certainly. According to this journal, the soul flies to the zenith of the place where it left the body of the deceased, or that of the pilgrim, in this case. If Flamel's soul is trapped in purgatory, as we've guessed, you'll need to go
luckily
to the
that house
where
is
he
still
drew his dying
standing.
breath.
Is it still standing?
Of course. It's on Rue de Montmorency, in the Quartier de l'Hôtel de Ville. You can get there via the cemetery of the Église Saint-Jacques.
And how do you plan to free my spirit from this automat?
We would simply need to break the bond between them. And to do this, we would need to stop your machinery. For a short time, of course. We don't want to lose you, ma chère. As for the rest, it will be a question of mechanics, chemistry, or electric currents, or something or other. Therein lies the problem. This is far beyond my comprehension. But it is fascinating, isn't it? Perhaps Monsieur Bailly and Monsieur Lavoisier could shed some light on the matter.
God, this is so... Just fully is like, wait, hold up a minute. Is... fully... hold up a minute. You are asking to kill me so that I might travel to purgatory so I could speak to Nicholas Flamel. But shoutouts to Abbé Gregoire for being able to read 15th century Latin shorthand. Just big shoutouts to Gregoire, because I have looked at 15th century Latin shorthand. You know, chat, I have power. We have the internet. Watch this. Search manuscripts and archives. Let's see. Let's go 1418. Right, we'll see if we have any that are actually from 1418 in Latin. Blah 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 blah. Uh-huh. These are all deeds, these are all deeds. Can I get place 15 more? Bulgaria, India. Boo. We'll say French 15th century. Right. We'll see if we can get anything here. I don't want something too fancy, you know? Let's see. That's Italy. Exactly, right? Let's pull up these two. We'll see if we have either of them. Come on. Don't tell me that you've got the... these are not digitized, are they? Dang it. Neither of those were digitized. I want only the digitized manuscripts. Thank you. BL.UK. Digitized. Thank you. Keyword. France. Dates. 1400 to 1450. 1425 even. Let's go. Brilliant. This is from... This is Charter Hand. Charter Hand sucks. Perfect. I have gotten 3. Oh. Oh, you're unprepared. So Charter Hand is bad. Chat, Charter Hand is extremely bad. This is in French, not in Latin. But, you know, this is the sorts of things he's working with if this is an early 15th century manuscript. Now, Charter Hand is designed to be written as fast as possible. And actually, this is relatively not bad. So, this is probably a D. The Duke, D'Oscan et Bal... That one I'm not sure on. That's probably an E. Can't, not sure. At something and something and something. This is actually relatively legible, TBH. I have seen worse. Are you not going to? Thank you. I've seen significantly worse. Now, give me a random page. Give me a random page. This is the index. That's not at all helpful. Give me a random page. And come on. Give it to me. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. These are early. These are by Henry IV, according to the other labels. But, you know. Still is bad. Those are... This is going to be, looks like a French... Shortly after the Battle of Agincourt in 1415. This is fairly likely to be at least similar, right? The exact nature of the hand, I don't know that we actually have anything by Flamel to compare it to get more precise. But you know, this is probably reasonably similar to what he's looking at. I'm just saying. Gregoire seems to be extremely good at words, because Lord knows I'm not. It's beautiful. It's an absolutely gorgeous, like, script style. It's just not particularly legible.
Monsieur Bailly, I found this box with astronomical symbols on it. I believe it belongs to Vaucanfon's daughter.
Athenais' secret box. I built it with my own hands.
Ha.
It was my gift to her on her 15th birthday.
I wasn't able to open it.
Naturellement. Athenais and I are the only ones who know how.
Amazing.
Allow me.
Surprise.
Arrange the planets the way they were aligned on the day of Atanais's
Well,
birth.
that's adorable.
Voila, like this.
What's this locket?
Athanais is always wearing this.
That's what I figured.
It contains a portrait of her late mother. She said it was her most cherished possession in all the world. To think, the poor child never knew her own mother.
Yeah, look at this horror framing. The camera work here is extremely... Je ne comprends pas les mots en français. Yeah, Old French... Actually, this would be Middle French in this period, but it still is... Still... Did he just chloroform her? Rude. That's just rude.
Good God. Ludia, what happened? You froze the moment you touched the locket. I thought I'd lost you.
I saw her. Athanais de Vaucanson. The Comte de Cagliostro has her.
Mon Dieu. It is just as I feared.
He bound her spirit to an automat.
Please, say no more. Athanais. It is her spirit that animates you. Is it not?
Yes. I believe
Chat,
so.
raise your hand if you're surprised.
Quelle abomination. It is vital that you go and find Athanais as soon as possible.
She is right in front of you. I am Athanais.
Alas, I fear that is not entirely accurate. You know nothing of Athanais, Ludia. Nothing of her past, her joys, her suffering. Nothing of her love for her father. You are but the
Oh, of
vessel
course.
that harbors the poor child's soul.
Where can I find Athanais' body?
God only knows. Although I assume that the Comte de Cagliostro is taking pains to keep her alive, this is certainly the only way to keep her spirit alive in you. The only way to free her is to find her body.
Why was Eugène de Vaucanson imprisoned in the Bastille?
Well,
Once he
who
discovered
could
the
have
king's true
guessed?
intentions, he refused to continue cooperating with him. He
Shocking,
refused
I
to
know,
use his
right?
talents to create this abominable army. But the king didn't take kindly to his resignation. Eugène did manage to get a letter to me just before he was arrested. Here, take it.
My dear Bailly, I am writing to you in secret and in great haste. May God protect the mechanical messenger I am sending to you with this letter. They have taken me prisoner and made me no secret of the fate that is in store for me. I am to be sent to the Bastille while they intend to force me to reveal my final secrets. Luckily, Athanais was able to escape, but I will certainly try to hunt her down. Go to her rescue if you can. If she falls into their hands, she'll use her as an instrument of blackmail. But rest assured they will not get anything more out of me, even if it means giving up my life. Adieu, your friend, Yojin. Chloroform had been first produced in 1831. Well, we are a little bit... We're a smidge ahead of schedule then, aren't we?
Monsieur Lavoisier.
There should be other sorts of ethers.
The clues I found at the warehouse suggest that the gunpowder was moved to the Bastille.
Diable. You must find a way to get there and put an end to this threat.
Do you think there is any way to interrupt my internal clockwork?
To what end?
I would like to briefly sever the bond between my spirit and this automat.
It is a very strange request, madame. For what purpose do you seek to free your soul from its shell?
According to the abbot, my spirit would then be able to visit purgatory.
Oh, that dreadful place. Why on earth would you want to go there?
I hope to find answers to some very important questions.
You must understand, madame, that your very nature is a mystery to us. We are ignorant as to the principle that imbues you with life.
Luckily, this is a game, and so we are unlikely, though it's
That is why
not.
It is impossible for us to make even the slightest alteration. It would mean taking an unacceptable risk. Of course, if we had documents that could shed light on the matter.
Antoine, the blueprints.
What blueprints, mon ami?
Ludia's. Eugène gave them to me when he was working on the modifications ordered by the king. He wanted my opinion on the potential for reducing the size of certain key parts.
The camera work is all over the place.
But they could tell us quite a bit about the mechanical principles that are shared by
This camera...
and Aegis.
Bon sang, you're right. Where are the blueprints now?
Alas, the situation is not in our favor. I kept them in the safe at the observatory. But earlier, when I went there to collect my most important documents, before setting off for the convent, I found looters making off with its contents.
Blasted scavengers. Their kind are always quick to make them...
Again, we also need to swing by the Dark Wood of Ether to pick up Virgil to guide us through Purgatory. We sure do.
Passageway under the Louvre. I decided it was best not to follow them.
You acted wisely, mon ami. The automats are everywhere, and the marauders...
We're going back to Tuileries.
I'll try to track them down.
We're
Goodbye, Monsieur Lavoisier.
We're trying... We have to go back. I want to see where this goes, but we're going back to Tuileries? Fine. Fine. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth we go. Alright, chat. So... here we go. Eventually we will get to... eventually we will get around to Monsieur Marat in this stream. But I really want to see where they're going with the fantasy nonsense. God, I mean, it's so goofy. And I don't actually know how well it lines up with 18th century historical, cultural ideas of alchemy, Flamel, and purgatory. But I'm having a great time with it, because this goofiness is 100% my speed. Ow. Oh, hey, mods, if any of you are around that can take care of this bot, that would be awesome. I know there's a couple mods around. If there's not, we need to fix that. Peter, didn't I give you mod permissions? Whatever. We'll take care of this. Goodbye. Alright, problem solved. It's been a hot second since we've had one of them. Well, I don't know what could be more of a passageway under the Louvre than this. But evidently, this is also not the correct place, because I have no walls I can break down over here. What passages under the Louvre? What? What? It didn't register my button. If it lines up, it would be a cool way of having certain fantasy nonsense as a part of the world as seen through the eyes of the people of the past. Exactly, right? if it can even get resonant, I don't even need it to be an exact parallel. Just like if it's in the vicinity. Ow. Even in the same vicinity would be cool. As a way to replicate the way in which perception, and the ways let me rephrase that. To mirror the ways in which fantasy nonsense can be used to actually communicate historical perceptions. There it is. It remains a bit of an open question to the extent to which, that is actually what's happening here, and how much thought they're putting into that, apart from, this is what we need in order to make the story work. But, the more work that they're able to do, the happier I am. Ow. Rude. What? Jerk. Oh, hello. I mean, aren't most folks following Dante's model by now? I believe so, but what that actually means in practice, I think, is open to some amount of, debate. Right, like, there's a lot of ways to follow Dante's model.
Bon Dieu de bon Dieu, boss. It hurts. It hurts.
Steel yourself, Claude. Just be thankful you got out alive.
I'm still in pretty bad shape.
Et puis quoi? Don't you think it was worth it? This tunnel is a gold mine. With what we've managed to gather, we'll be set for a long time.
Monsieur,
Huh? Who goes there? Oh, son, let's get the hell out of here. Run, Claude. Run if you can. Oh, my lure. I told you we'd get caught.
Well, fair. Are we gonna, like, see other people? Are we gonna see literally anyone else? Ow. There we go. Rolled both of them. Run, Claude, run all the way back to Bristol. God, they're so English. It is my favorite dumb thing about this game. Right, this is a game that makes so many fun and interesting choices, and then also makes them all British. And I just don't know what to do about that. Or perhaps, said better, I don't know what, if anything, even could be done about that.
letters from the observatory. Poor souls. They didn't stand a chance.
Nope, well, they got caught. Oh heck, there's two of them. There's so many. Luckily, friendly fire's on, so we do stand at least something of a chance. Dang it! And there's both of those, so let's switch to this. Buff up. And then maul them. Beautiful. Death, death. Not my favorite win in the world, but a win is a win. Is the big reveal going to be that the people are all ghosts or something? Because with the Athenias non-reveal, it's not like we've really been shocked yet.
Tedious blueprints. Fortunately, they are in perfect condition. Monsieur Bailly will be delighted.
Alright, but, what was this nonsense about accidentally going the correct direction? Like, thank you, game, for having simple, straightforward-ish level design. But what do you mean I went the right direction? Well, this is fine, I guess. Also, is there something actually through here? Or is this just bait? That's just bait. Thank you. This is all just bait. They have some very nice portraits here. Wait, what is this piece, chat? I know the screen brightness is not good. Let me see if I can turn it up real quick. Video... oh, no, brightness. Brighter. I recognize this. I don't know where I recognize this from. But I very, very much recognize that piece. Another case of them using actual museum material. It's due to cutting off Holofernes' head, is it? No, it's not. Can't be. There's too many figures in here. Right, usually Judith cutting off Holofernes' head has only 3 figures. Judith, her assistant, and then the deceased. I really wish we had a photo mode, so I could really get a good zoom in on it. Right? It almost looks like it's the Adoration of the Magi, but those figures aren't right either. Or is it viewing the head of John the Baptist? No, because yeah, that's absolutely the Adoration of the Magi. You can see on this one, just barely, the baby Christ at the bottom of the screen. Like, I'm fairly certain that that's Adoration and not Judith and Holofernes. There's at least some adoration of some infant. Whether or not that's actually Christ, I don't know. But it definitely looks like some sort of infant adoration. That's Susanna and the Elders. Perfect, thank you. Let's check that now that I have something resembling Susanna and the Elders. It is the same portrait as the really famous right, the Gentileschi one, it looks different, but potentially? No, these aren't looking right either. Adoration of some random baby, I know, right? That isn't looking right either. Right, because the Gentileschi one looks completely different. The Rembrandt one obviously is later and also looks different. Though there are several different ones. Yeah, none of the Gentileschi ones are right. Although I don't think any of those are the same one. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Rather than an idea of the painting, that was to a different conversation. You baited me. I got baited. That is okay. Chat, if you are watching the VOD and you do recognize that painting, please do leave a comment. Cause I cannot positively identify it, but it feels very, very familiar. My instinct is that's an adoration, a couple of copies of an adoration, potentially even by Gentileschi. The style looks similar, but I am not sure. I remain unconfident in my attribute. Oh wait, it was when I dove into the water over here, wasn't it? Perfect. And since we just picked up one of these, we'll use one and then get out of here. One of the figures that left resembles Velasquez's adoration. Let's see what... Velasquez adoration. Okay. Yeah, looks like that is very much a different one overall. But I definitely see the resemblance. It remains a mystery. Correspondence. To Bailly. Hooray. An unfortunate fate, you say? Those poor devils probably did not deserve such a definitive end. What would they have done with these documents? By the grace of God, Lavoisier and I have been able to learn valuable information from them. We have located the archaic timer system that Monsieur de Vaucanson used to set the duration of Ludia's dances. We are certain that this device is in place. If we reverse it, we set an inactive time. Well, alright. Back to the Cordelier. We need to do one more thing, and then we can go forth into the Purgatory. And I'm sure that will all be fine. And then we'll get to a new area, I promise. I want to look at Purgatory, and then we will get into a new area. But anyway, regardless of what the exact piece of art is, that does offer up some interesting questions about like the use of museum pieces in media like this. Like there is a decent number of museum pieces and or archival imagery, right? The coat of arms that speaks of the right of men here is very much archival.
Monsieur B. Here are the blueprints you asked for.
Good heavens. You found them.
Yeah.
The thieves were not able to profit much from their theft. They met with an unfortunate end.
Oh, the poor souls. Their crimes did not deserve such a permanent ending.
Certainly, certainly. Let us look at these documents now, if you will.
You already did. I mailed them to you.
Antoine, the F-wheel is not part of the cog that transfers the driving force to the escapement.
Diable, you're right. It's driven by the B-wheel, and its axis is on the shaft that's visible at this point.
Precisely.
Nerds.
In fact, the shaft sits between a conical bearing and the small groove here.
Nerds.
It's decided then. All we would have to do is separate these two plates to disable the entire thing.
And to put them back in place at the agreed time to start the machine again.
You will not be able to assist me. I have to do it alone. Half a league away.
You must be joking.
By no means. You'll have to find another solution.
Unfortunately, madame, you're asking us to do the impossible.
Oh, ça, par exemple.
Once your spirit is untethered from this automat, it will be impossible for you to start the machine up again.
Hold on, my dear Antoine. Is this device in figure 4? Is it still in place?
Yes, it is. What of it?
Oh, so. It's a timer. It's primitive, true, but fully functional.
The dial has marks from 1 to 15. Probably minutes.
It was to allow...
Their foreheads aren't shiny at all. It's kinda unsettling.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And by reversing the position of this peg in the center, we could instead turn it into a period of inactivity.
Hey, look, it's Technobabble.
Mon ami. Fantastic.
Will Aegis be able to operate this device herself?
We'll make it easier for her. All you have to do is put a bolt there that she can remove when the time is right. Yes, a small iron rod will suffice. We won't have any trouble finding something that will do. When the timer dial reaches 0, the automat will come back to life. However, given the dial's fragility, we will probably get only one chance to try this.
Are you sure that the bond between my soul and this machine will be re-established?
Ma foi, I admit that we can't be sure of this. What do you say, mon père?
Don't be afraid, Aegis. Unless I've been wrong from the beginning, your soul will seek refuge in the only body it has available to it in this world.
Well then, shall we start the preparations?
Let's begin. My fate is in your hands, monsieur.
Voila.
Given that we just learned that we are Athenios, this feels unbearably risky, doesn't it?
Remember, you will have 15 minutes and no more before your spirit returns to your body.
Are they going
I wish
to
you good luck, madame.
Are they going to...
Remember, to get to Rue de Montmorency, you're best going through the cemetery behind the Église Saint-Jacques in the Quartier de l'Hôtel de Ville. Here's
Okay.
the key to the gate.
Uh-huh.
Our prayers are with you, my child.
Uh-huh. Does this mean... Are we fully going to... Oh yeah, while we're here. Mirabelle, I found a very suspicious... No.
No.
Remember,
Fine.
I'm
I found another very suspicious bit of things, but you know, that's fine. Let's go into the in-between. And while we're going to the in-between, let's continue that thought about archival material in historical games. Because, right, museum pieces, well, museums and archives at large are very much interested in, right, the original thing as having value and authority. Right, archives are the preserved documents that come about as a result of an organization's activities, and a museum is a collection of donated or purchased artwork. In either case, they are both really, really concerned with some semblance of the thing as it is being both identifiable and useful. Alright, that gets us to here. Okay, that goes to Pont Neuf. Boom. Not quite ideal, but it's what we've got. So, cross here. Roundabout this way. And then over. So. We can sort of elaborate on museums and archival materials as in some way giving us extra authority, right? If a historical game includes archival materials, that makes the game feel and look more historical, unless if I am sorely mistaken. Theoretically then, at least in some level, the more you have, the more historical you become. That's not quite how it works in practice. There is such a thing as tryharding. But, ow. It definitely, broadly works that way, where bringing in historical reference, alongside very game-like references are a way to increase the authority granted to the game's world as an immersive space that is in some way a representation of the true thing. Right. Ultimately, that's the goal we're looking for, is that this is in some way a representation of the thing as it is. Net increase for the game's perceived verisimilitude. Thank you for putting the things in the words that I actually wanted into my mouth, because I was not finding them. I was not quite finding... Hello, please pick up. Right, and obviously this is something with a lot of genuine power. Let's not pretend that this is some, flimsy or weak just event. Right, if you can do it, it is a big deal. Doubly so if the things actually exist at this time. Right. So, we look at, say, the Diana, right, what was that, the Diana and Stag portrait that we saw, or statue that we saw in the King's Chambers last time, right, that we know that's actually part of the French royal collection. It is not only plausible, but correct to have that object in this thing in this time. Like, right. No, by the way, let's see if I can figure out what the faster way back is, because I clearly have missed it a couple of times now. I do want to make sure I actually can do that. Oh, it's just straight across here. Gotcha. Alright, well I now know the fast way back if I ever have to come here a third time. Fourth time? Fourth time. But obviously there are some restrictions, confusions, other stuff around both the ability to display archival stuff in your museums and the right to do so. And that it is very possible to have things that are in some way, shape, or form under oh, heck. I have to beat this fight. Well, alright. Luckily, the way to win this fight is to kind of just take my time, because the moment they do, I think it will take care of a large part of the problem for me. Come on, spin. You want to spin? I believe you. I believe in you. You want to spin, right? You want to spin? No? Fine. There we go. Now we can start taking this one on. Ow. There we go. The actual object has virtue of by association with the real world and being included, that authority is referentially used to attest to the game's historicity. Again, good words. Well said. But, obviously this has its own set of consequences, namely, right, it can both feel like trying too hard and also, can cause issues. Oh, well, you're dead. Goofy lightning dude. Goofy lightning dude. Yeah, right. Using things blatantly anachronistic, obviously causes issues, right? We saw that in, like, New World and a bunch of other games, where you end up with, like, the medievalist hodgepodge, where, yeah, there's a lot of real objects, but there's no real rhyme or reason as to what's being included and what's being excluded. So you end up with a hodgepodge. That's bad. We don't like that. Dang it. Too slow. You get out of here. Heck. And break. Goodbye. Beautiful. And also, yeah, just, you have to make sure you get the rights. Right? Don't use objects without permission. That's bad. If you know they're public domain, that's great, that's fine. If you're using, materials without permission, that's, bad. And there's that. But let's see. Also, if the objects are used, if the reconstruction of the objects you use has a big difference in quality versus the aesthetic you're constructing, that's also bad, right? If the objects were super bright and cheerful and happy in this game, that'd be an issue, because this game aesthetically clearly makes the argument that the French Revolution is not a happy, fun times place. Clearly. But yeah, right? It's super interesting when they use them. Also, if you only have like 4 objects, and you just put them everywhere, that is going to itself cause problems, right? We see that in like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where there just aren't enough objects, and so all the places feel samey because they're using these same objects over and over and over and over again without doing anything to put variability between them, and make it, well, for lack of a better word, interesting. I want to try upgrading a couple of these, because we did get these too. 1, 2, beautiful. 6,000, okay. Boutique. Sell. We've got a lot of things to sell. And then we can buy some things, then we can continue upgrading some things. 2 of those. 3 of those. 11 of these. Oops. Oops. Requires 5 keys to upgrade. Well, that did not carry me as far as I hoped it would. That's okay. I want to try out these 1,000 cut claws in this other area. Oh. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now let's take a look at our equipment. Because I'm sure we can upgrade some things. Let's try out the 1,000 cut claws. And let's try out the 1789 Royal Musket. Just as something different, you know? Also, what a beautifully fabulous... What a beautifully fabulous hat. I don't know if that's actually better than what I've got, but it's at least a good look. Yes, Sun Ha Hong, yeah, I don't agree with all of his work. Was Caravaggio's Nativity. Oh, thank you, Agolias. With St. Francis and St. Lawrence. That makes a lot of sense. That also looks right that feels right stylistically. The quadrille dress. The red velvet dress with gold braiding and wrought iron trim is inspired by the contredanse quadrilles that became fashionable at the expense of the minuets, which were considered too tame. Wonderful. Now, let's go full fashion here. We've got a good amount of fashion options. Like, I mean, that's stylish. I might like that a little bit more. Yes. Maybe we keep these, though. And what good boots do we have? We're currently wearing the quadrille shoes. Let's move over to these ones. And then for a hat, let's switch up our hat, because it's been a while. Top hat? Been a while since we had a different look, chat, but I think we found these. Look at that. And let's take a look at our new things. We have gun with a special move of, well, that was actually with a special move of bigger gun. Fill the hole next to my establishment. And our other weapon are knives. Knives. With a strong attack of knives. And a special move of knives. Knives. What a good look. Alright, I think we have found our location. I should see what's up here first, though. This puts us back in the Quartier d'Hotel de Ville. Okay, that's where we came in from. Perfect. Quartier d'Hotel de Ville, and then down here has a chest. I knew that there was a shiny somewhere around here. I just knew it. Boo! It's just a carriage token. I have plenty of those, though. I appreciate it, though. Not having to run back is good. Well. Chad, I think it's time. Spooky. Actually spooky. Wait, hold up. Wait, hold up. This was actually spooky, though. How very Dark Souls of it.
Monsieur.
Zoos! Praise be to the Holy Mother of our Lord, at last thou speakest.
He's so English!
You have erred here for so long, not a word uttered. In singular contemplation of such terrible slaughter.
A long time, you say? That's not possible, sir. I've just now appeared to you.
Nay, but thou must trust me. And thou wast hardly alone in this then. Oh, there were many travellers, stiff and silent, all in agony, all bound to the anchor stone.
What travellers do you speak of?
First to arrive was a sobbing child, searching for his mother. After him, many a damned soul carrying their own heads in hand. Then those whose thoughts passed through me. A minister of God tormented by doubt.
Hold on. A minister of God? Monseigneur de la Fare?
A scholar with soul star-filled, and a
It's-
learned master of alchemy.
Monsieur Béhin and Monsieur Lavoisier.
A usurer who shed so many tears for his lady.
Monsieur Necker, mourning his wife.
All bound to the anchor stone. Wretched souls, their ascension to the heavens repelled.
Why is he speaking like he's a Shakespeare character? Actually, I know exactly why, but, we'll get there.
The philosopher
stone keeps the travelers in this limbo and makes them masters of the Iron Titans. From the defunct springs the fire that burns inside these demons. Lanterns of the dead, witchcraft.
Because Prospero.
The terrible slaughter. You say I was.
He
just
speaks
observing
in
this.
rhythm.
Vile, innumerable crimes. The devil's own accursed titans and their restless horde.
But also, there's another reason.
Where the souls of the dead sleep. Men and women offered in sacrifice to feed the pyre. Then the terrible maw was opened, and in flowed legion of the dead. Ne'er hast I seen such and so many here during all my stay. Soul is verily mine dark confine, lonely, so lonely that mine vessel is no more, and my soul still cloistered in this place. Alack, I do despair of ever ascending to heaven. Gentle dame, prithee do shatter mine stone.
You want me to break the stone that contains your soul? Is that what you're asking me to do?
Aye, my God, I beg thee.
Do you know where this stone is? You've been buried for more than 3 centuries, monsieur.
The precious jewels, lying treasure, was inscribed in my legacy, my testament. On my tomb engraved, gentle dame, on the tomb!
Oof. Apologies, Zoe. You had too many symbols. So, that was Nicholas Flamel, folks. Did not speak like a turn of the 15th century person.
Encounter. I must tell Abbe Grégoire about it immediately.
Solidly not early 15th century. Much more turn of the 17th century. Through the perfect, the imperfect will be purified. From the sun, father of all metals, and from the moon, their mother, comes magisterium. Only that which has been brought back to its first matter may be transmuted of the philosophers sulfur and mercury. A wise man will not work like a blind man in doubt and darkness. From a grimoire. Beautiful. Exactly in line with the language of grimoires. I like that. I like that a lot. The soul of the liberated body suffers no earthly want. The lapis philosophorum fulfills his least desire. The happy pilgrim of limbo covets not the gold of inglorious tristful princes. Death no longer treads nor mourns the desolate fleshly existence. In this, the supernal anchor stone is the greatest treasure. That's much less on vibe. Then Shakespeare. So I think there's 2 reasons why Nicholas Flamel speaks like he's a Shakespeare character. The first is that we have Shakespearean parallels for the alchemical or the alchemist, Prospero, right? The worker of great magics. We have that. And so you're filling that character, use that vibe. The other thing, sulfur and mercury is being used in alchemy as early as the 14th century, Agolias. Like, crap, I can't remember his name. He got thrown in jail in Spain in 1348, and then got really into alchemy. But he was using sulfur and mercury all over the place. Also, it just said a grimoire. It didn't say Nicholas Flamel's grimoire. So if it's Paracelsus, if you want to say it's more inspired by Paracelsus, well, he still predates this game, so whatever. But the bigger reason why I think he speaks, in Shakespearean, early modern English, is that there is a gap of approximately 400 years, right? 1789, 1689, 1589, 1489, 13... well, 1418. So 3,500 years. 2022, 1922, 1822, 1722, 1640? Given that the people in this game are speaking 21st century English and not 18th century French, it is approximately appropriately old in terms of the temporal gap to have him speak Shakespearean English. It's a weird choice, but it's not a choice I intrinsically hate. It's a choice I dislike on the grounds that Shakespearean English or enough medieval languages are accused of being early modern, or accused of... That's backwards. Shakespeare is so often accused of being Old English that there is this kind of confusion of the medieval and the Shakespearean. Certainly in terms of linguistic education, but also in terms of historical education. So this is definitely buying into that, and I don't love that. But as far as it goes, there's far worse choices. You just know that Shakespeare using Old English? Yeah, well, you hear it on the internet like every other week. So, just, you know, we got a long way to go. Hey, Gregoire. I'm
Can I
confused.
help you, Aegis?
The plan worked as we had hoped. My spirit.
Also, I got new clothes. Do you like them?
To the in-between.
This is extraordinary. It confirms all my theories.
You were right about the rest too. Nicholas Flamel's soul had never left the in-between.
Da da da.
4 centuries. What a fearsome fate.
4 centuries in purgatory. God.
Yes, mon père.
Or Chaucer with Old English.
He claimed that I'd been in purgatory for a long time, but had never spoken until then.
Please, go on.
He said he had met other visitors. Based on his descriptions, he was speaking of Monseigneur de la Fare, Minister Necker, Monsieur Bailly, and Monsieur Lavoisier. They all seemed unaware of his presence. All bound to the anchor stone. Those were his words.
All those whom Cagliostro turned into his homicidal playthings. Yes, it is just as
Oh
I
yes.
thought.
Also, Flamel is
Subject
speaking
has
modern
been
Shakespeare
questioned by
actors'
all
English, not any
factors,
reconstruction of original
but his soul
pronunciation.
remains in the
This is
in-between.
true and fair, but
Monsieur Flamel begged me to free
one
him from
who
purgatory.
who in chat actually off the top of their head knows what reconstructed pronunciation or what original pronunciation sounds like?
We have to break his stone.
Of course, the philosopher's stone.
Not
The
me.
anchor stone that keeps him in
And
the
second,
in-between.
right, doesn't affect the popular idea of Shakespearean English. Right, has nothing to do with OP.
Look at this, mon père.
Absolutely nothing to do with
These
OP.
philosopher's
It
stones
is
made by
full
Cagliostro's
modern
hand.
production.
Do they look familiar?
Did the update make the game any better? Look,
Aegis.
the game
The ancient chalice of
still
Saint-Jacques is adorned
chews
with
up way
this
too much of my
stone.
CPU.
It was entrusted to me by the parish priests, along with some other relics.
What?
I stored it in a reliquary chest in this very
Wait,
room.
Gregoire, what did you
Here's
just
the
say?
key. Go. Let us not waste a second more.
Goodbye, mon père.
Gregoire? Did you just say what I think you just said? The whole time. The whole time. You have had me running around, doing God knows what, risking my soul, and you had the Philosopher's Stone In that chest right there, the entire time? No. No, this can't be. Who am I talking to? To the character in the game. The historical Abbé Grégoire. An extremely significant, interesting, figure in the early French Revolution. The whole
4 centuries,
time.
Aegis. 4 centuries. No mind can begin to comprehend what this poor man has suffered.
What?
That awaits us. An eternity of silence and solitude.
Purgatory is just a stop on the journey, Monseigneur.
Oh, I would give anything to believe it again.
Monsieur Flamel, the time has come to set you free.
Are we just gonna smush it? Like...
Seigneur, Dieu nous garde.
Oh, blessed maid who has broken my chains! Heavenly light! Oh, heavenly light! I shall become one with it!
He's... Oh god, this guy's just chewing the scenery.
Et cum haec dixis et videntibus illis elevatus est.
And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up.
Quoting...
Hallelujah! Purgatory is not the end. Do you know what that means, Abbot?
Before I say anything, I would like to take the time to consider the phenomenon we have just witnessed with a clear head.
You are mistaken. What we have just seen and heard makes us new apostles. From this day on, I will live only to share the good news of this divine manifestation.
It is all well and good, Monseigneur. Alas, I will not be able to join your apostolate, for there is no mission more vital than the one we are undertaking. At a moment when the tyrant aims to annihilate his subjects, I have a duty to put deeds before prayer.
Help me. Oh. Is this... God, frankly incredible. They just had Nicholas Flamel ascend to heaven, question mark? Just in front of De la Fare and Abbé Grégoire and a bunch of revolutionaries. God. I appreciate that De la Fare's first instinct is to quote the Bible at us. Right. That's good. Solid first instinct. But then also saying that this makes you new apostles is blasphemy? Question mark? Unclear. It remains unclear because, right, witnesses to sainthood, to saints doing things like ascending to heaven, are not apostles, but also not apostles on the scale of the witnesses to Christ's revelations. Right, and so equating Flamel with Christ is a problem.
What can I do for you, Aegis?
Oh, we're just not going to talk about that.
Allez en paix, Aegis.
We're just not going to talk about that. Grégoire, are we going to talk about that?
Can I help you, Aegis?
We're just not going to talk about that. Oh, 100% witnesses to a miracle. This is 100% witnesses to a miracle. Making the witnesses new apostles is maybe a bit overblown. Maybe our guy just got caught up in the moment. Yeah, that's fair. It is a very intense moment to have a crisis of faith ended in such dramatic fashion. And that is extremely dramatic fashion. But God, the fact that Abbe Quequa just happened to have the Philosopher's Stone the whole time is the funniest thing they could have done. Truly the single funniest way they could have ended that questline was that. Maybe also, what do our players know? Apostles. Well, that's also entirely possible. Right, I mean, there are a lot of ways where you can totally justify that choice. And, you know, maybe I am also wrong, and 18th century French culture has a very funky relationship with you know, religion and the term apostle. It's just my instinct is that that's funky and in an extremely funny way. Ow. I didn't move fast enough. What? Ow. Probably should be more careful than that, huh?
Marat is hiding somewhere in the depths of this quarry. We'll have to use this mobile gateway.
Fabulous. Oh, that's a logger's automaton. Yeah, it's most likely that these were dock workers. Actually, we have a codex. I don't have to say most likely. I can just say. Lumberer. Before serving the Royal Army, lumberer automats cut and produced the mass amount of wood needed for the Royal Fleet. They're now used to build and erect the barricades that prevent access to many strategic points in Paris. Okay, so, nope, they just were. We need to repair the mobile Wi-Fi. Why is the bathtub dude in the quarry? I don't know. Because they needed him to be. They wanted us to go out into this quarry. And so they made that happen. By whatever means necessary. That's what I'm gonna go for. That's pretty much the best explanation I've got. Ow. Oh heck. He's gotten way better at swords. You have gotten much better at swords. That's quite terrifying. Well, up we go, I guess. Oh, there was a point we could lash onto up there the whole time. Okay, well, fair enough. What? Ah! Ow. Essence of a revolutionary spirit. That's exciting. Suspended workshop.
The depths of the quarry. I will explore the area and try to find a way to make it work.
Hurrah. Ah. Up here. Up here. Up here. Thank you. Up here. And then up here. Perfect. And safety. Not that I have a whole lot to sit down for right now, but, you know, it exists and we appreciate that. Where are all the enemies? Well, found them. What? Big fights. Yeah, you just cannot use ladders. It is very unfortunate for me and no one else. I mean, let's be honest, they probably just didn't want to have to, like, program functional ladders. To which I say, big mood. Like, I do not want to have to try and program functional ladders either. You notice that broadly, right? They are trying to avoid doing functional ladders and functional doors. That was probably stupid of me, but that's fine. Ow. Look, they put so much work into how this world can be navigated without needing ladders or doors that I am not mad at them for not having them. Right, people can use them. It's just, you just can't, for reasons that are definitely not just programming ladders and doors is the worst thing. Yep, definitely. Really? Jerk. Bigger jerk. What? God, they're so mean. See, the door is just conveniently open for us because, yeah. Doors are a pain. Even though they're just binarily open or closed, they make problems. They make so many problems. Like, nothing good comes out of trying to make functional doors. Even if you just treat it as like a physics object. And you're like, oh yes, this solves the problem. Spoilers, no it doesn't. Now it just creates a bunch of new problems, wherein it clips. And people get stuck in it. And then stuff happens. And by stuff I mean always, never the thing you want. Aww. Here I was thinking it was going to be a fun. Boo. Boo. Really? Really? All of that is fake invisible walls? Okay, that's fine. Heck. Ow. Yeah, I deserve that. I deserve that too. Heal up. And dead. In case of Could, there was briefly a bug where sapient door companions would open or close every door on the map when they opened or closed. Exactly. Like, that is bonkers. And that is hardly the strangest bug I've heard of, right? I mean, there's whole articles online about trying to program a door, being like, oh yeah, that should be an easy project, right? For us, it is a super easy, obvious thing. Right? Doors are incredibly intuitive, easy, and obvious. You walk up to a door, it sits on two hinges. You open the it turns on the hinge, the door is now open. Games don't work like reality does. So something that's easy for a game to do is not necessarily, or perhaps more accurately, ever easy, or something that's easy for real life to do is not necessarily or ever easy for a game to do. Hooray! And to that end, right, we extend a lot of grace to games for, you know, oh, it's not historical that doors work this way. It's like, well, wait, hold up. Or that windows work this way. Well, hold up. Of course that's not historical. That's also an absurd, unreasonable metric that no one should, listen, engage with, or like. Well, there's a shiny inside the box. Hey. Hey. Hey, let me have it. I want the shiny. No. Fine. Don't think I've forgotten this travesty shiny. Don't be aggro on me. Seriously? I understand that was not very far off the ground, but come on. Ow. Excellent. Simulating reality even to the degree managed by most games. By any game. Not most games. Any game. Is extraordinarily difficult. Exactly. So right, like, you'll notice, like, even in, like, Kingdom Come, right, I don't spend a lot of time talking about, oh, they reused an asset here, this thing feels weird, like, not quite, doesn't feel quite right, we're having simplifications XYZ, like, there's only some times where those are actually a historical argument that we can make. A lot of the time it's just making games is hard. By the way, Tierra Solis, thank you for the follow just now. I appreciate it. Welcome. I hope you are enjoying our historical ramblings. And if you were lurking for a while, I hope you enjoyed the extreme silliness that we just witnessed. Because, oh boy. Oh, perfect. You're back. Okay. You're back from here. Hello again. It is good to see you, my friend. If you just showed up, you missed, some delightfully silly alchemy. But, if you've been lurking, you saw it. And that was good. Okay. And thank you, this dude, for immediately gifting them a tier 1 gifty sub. I don't know, text adventures aren't difficult in the same way. Eh. I do not think... Ow. Jerk spider. What the hell are you doing? That did so much damage. It's mining. Well, that's fair. I don't know what I expected. Ah, yes. Thank you for putting me immediately back where I was. Hey, guess what? Goodbye. That's fair. A text adventure does not have to get someone to be able to realistically feel good while jumping. That is fair. Well, you saw me, so nothing for it. Except to blow your face off. Go away. Go away. Thank you. Wow. That was not close. Oop. Well, that guy looks like he got smushed. That's unlucky for him. We all feel bad. And, oh. We are going in circles. Alright, back up this way then. Up, up, up. Oh god, collision is difficult. So that's where I'm supposed to go. I can also, looks like, go through. Oh. Fair enough. Now give me my shiny. The shiny is a grade 3 longevity module. I haven't upgraded my modules in ages, or looked at my new modules in ages, have I? Grade 3 longevity module. Perfect. We've got so many things here. Grade 1 lasting affliction module, grade 1 respite module, endurance is restored by half each time she mobilizes an enemy. That's actually really good. Slightly increases frost damage. Swiftness module, by dodge and sprint attacks, lasting stun. Survival instinct, okay. Ventilation, fight or flight, will to live, fulmination resistance, flame resistance, efficient charging, stable charging. What are the ones I have equipped right now? Reinforced armor. Blech. There we go. Oh. Well. Okay. They're being a little generous with the things. Right? Like, they're feeling so generous with how often they're giving me new respites. Like, I wasn't low on resources. Rolled. Absolutely dumpstered. Oh, that felt so good. Goodbye. Goodbye. Be on fire, nerd. Ah. Well, who's ready to see about the boss?
This time it's over for me. Princess was ransacked. I barely escaped from the guards sent to arrest me. And hope that things will one day turn to my advantage.
In truth, the timing is excellent. According to my informants, the king is planning a coup de force against the Third Estate. I think it's high time for all of us to go underground with you. Once we're hidden in the catacombs, we can prepare a counter-offensive in peace.
Who is this?
Approve of this withdrawal?
No, that fool. He's indecisive as usual. Always busy dreaming about his cousin's crown. But I've prepared the terrain. He will let me do as I please, as long as I serve his interests.
Spooky. Okay. So we just met two new historical figures there. We met Delacroix and we met Marat. Which is wild. Looks like Delacroix was a military general first, best known for writing a novel, Dangerous Liaisons. And then Marat was a pamphleteer. So, couple of intelligentsia, I suppose. both related to the French Revolution. As usual, all of these are, I think, people that would somewhat reliably show up in, like, a high school level introduction to the French Revolution, or unit on the French Revolution, would at least have most of these folks show up, if not all of them. Now, how am I supposed to get up there? Dang it. Oh. Well, that was easy. Why you gotta make me look like a fool for saying, how do I do XYZ thing, when that you just have a button that lets me do it? How did you get up here? That's a better question. And that's that's where I came in from, so that's cool. Does this go anywhere else? No. At least, if it's no... If it does not know, it is close enough to know for my tastes. Goodbye. Marat at least appears with his famous death. Yes. A bit of an unfortunate remembrance, TBH, but what can you do? Sometimes you just are best known for dying in a somewhat embarrassing way. And that makes for a good story. Say I love you. Did I just run in a circle? I did just run in a circle. Girl. And... goodbye. Now here I was expecting there to be an ambush down here. Name appears vaguely in the memory. How did he die? He was murdered in his bathtub. By one, Charlotte Corday. To use the English pronunciation, because I do not trust my way to get the French pronunciation. But yeah, he solidly does not make it out of this. He dies in 93? That's the painting. Yeah. He dies in 1793, so he does not make it out of this. Hello, Dildrum. It is good to see you. You missed some extremely fun stuff. And by fun... Ow. They hit so hard. Clearly... Why... Yes. Corday got sick of him declaring enemies of the people in his pamphlets. Turns out, being a pamphleteer is a dangerous profession, and does tend to result in making yourself a lot of enemies. Because when you're just name-dropping people to be mobbed and or guillotined, people get excited by that. And it's not always the state that gets excited by it, sometimes it's just other people. Take that as a lesson, right? I don't know what lesson to take from that, but definitely take it as a lesson. Whatever lesson you want it to be. Hurrah! Where to next? Up here gives us a thing. Down here is nothing, but God, I don't like these. I don't like these cats. Because it turns out they are cats, which is technically very cool. Because that turns them from being just kind of whatever into being an illusion. Whoop. To something fairly specific. Namely, right, there is 18th century French pet culture involving cats and statuary culture involving lions. So, like, you know, that does create a lot of references, but they move. It does feel weird to have cats instead of dogs be the de facto enemy of nonsense. Okay, hooray. What is going on in here? I suppose, just kind of slowly walking down here is what's going on. That's no fun, so let's jump this way instead. Alright, there's a fight. Looks like there's a fight down there. Hell. No, not two of them. Ow. Hell. I don't want him to drop, because if he drops, that's bad. And you just noticed something. This is a gypsum mine near Paris. And gypsum is used to create plaster of Paris. Even if it's just, if it ends up to be just the pun, I'm still not mad. But I don't know super well, but I think there are, like, gypsum deposits near the city. So, I think this is most likely coming out of at least something. Oh. I just missed this entrance the whole time. Well then. I see. I was wondering how I was going to get back to the shiny. Hello, shiny. A module key. Lovely. Delectable. That only means that we have, you know, like 8 more to find. Ah, hell. There's so many left to find. Okay, we can go up around that way. No? Actually, that doesn't connect all the way across. If I could get across, I could drop down there. Looks like, oh. I can actually reach that whole way? Well, don't mind if I do. You are too generous, game. I was gonna plan something, like, difficult and sneaky and work my way around. With the classic cave system bottomless void. But no, they just let us. And then it'll just let me go back. I can pick that up for the essence of the revolutionary spirit. Go away. Go away. Boom. Boom. The mines of Paris comprise a number of abandoned subterranean mines under the city, connected by galleries. The 3 main networks are the large South network. Commercial district was Lutetian limestone, as well as gypsum for plaster of Paris. Thank you, this dude. Even though on the map we're actually on the north side of Paris, not on the south side. Though I don't know that the South network actually means it is on the south side. Of the city. You know? Don't actually know if that's true. Huh. Oh. Well, hello. Goodbye. What is the point of having one down here? I guess if I fall off, that gives me a chance to catch myself? I guess? Yeah. And up here. And away we go. The Grand Path. Says, where's the trick? Oh, there is no trick. Where the gypsum ones were smaller networks in the north. Perfect, because that is exactly where we are. Oh, this is where I came in from? What? Huh? Are you sure, game? Ah, perfect. This is the way we go.
Monsieur Marat's men waged a terrible fight here. Some of these poor men were trampled to death.
That's probably not right. Well, with all the blue spooky soul energy, what do you think that is our enemy? Ow. Got there faster. Grade 2 respite module. And a module here, and 2 business blocks. Excellent. And another bronze ingot. And somewhere, maybe, possibly, a sneaky little heal station? Yeah. Because now I am low. Oh. Hello, white Shaft of Doom. Nice of you to show up.
They barricaded themselves in to escape the enemy. The only way through is the hard way.
Okay. But first, heals and levels. Let us... Look at that. Cool, I'm only 6 keys short of being done. A mere 6 keys. So that's blocked up, that's blocked up. There was nothing else over here. So... 3, 2, 1, let's bust this joint down. Rolled. Marat! What? What? I was thought for sure he was the next boss. But no, he's just here.
Hey? He goes there. La Diable, je m'attendais. So this is the famous Huntress Diana I've heard so much about. Truly, 'tis an honor, madame. Now let me have a look at you. Oh, you're just as they described. An angel of death, descended from the heavens to vanquish the clockwork tyrant.
Who depicted me this way, monsieur?
Mes compagnons, madame. Chief among them is Monsieur Chaudelot de la Clos. They have observed you dispensing justice all over the city. A most expeditious justice at that. as befits the
Uh-huh.
crimes committed by our good king.
Uh-huh.
What a strange machine you are. Gifted with intelligence, clearly, but also with speech and the freedom to do as you please.
Uh-huh.
Cependant, you are still an automat. Who is your master?
Oh, Mayo. I'm not technically lying.
Monsieur de Robespierre assured me that I would find you here.
Maximilien. A pure heart with a head full of dreams that cloud his perception of reality.
And you, Monsieur Marat. Who is your master?
I serve not a master, but a cause. That of the Duc d'Orléans.
This explains why Lafayette doesn't like him. This explains why Lafayette supposedly does not like him.
Their wars, their crimes, and their vices are finished. It's high time their scepter be passed to an enlightened, just monarch. One who is sympathetic to the people's sufferings. But now that I think about it, madame, look at us. We've been standing around chatting like old friends for several minutes, and I still don't know to what I owe the pleasure of your visit.
I must go to the Bastille, where Monsieur de Vaucanson is imprisoned.
Oui. Such a sad fate for a king's lackey. And what do you want with your creator? This man whose blood-stained hands built the army that's currently setting Paris ablaze.
What Vaucanson has done, only Vaucanson can undo.
Fair enough. Alas, while I come and go as I please through these tunnels, it is impossible to enter the fortress.
Impossible, dites-vous?
A sanguinary automat is spreading death and terror in the depths of this quarry.
Uh-huh.
At the cost of their lives, my comrades were able to sabotage the floor of the cave to limit its movements. Nevertheless, it stands between you and the tunnel that leads to the Quartier du Temple, and that's the only way to reach the Bastille.
And yet that's exactly what I intend to do, Monsieur Marat.
À votre guise. I shall not attempt to dissuade you.
Uh-huh.
There's one small thing, though. I had to disable the mobile walkways to protect
Elevators.
myself from the automats.
You know.
But since you managed to come here, I assume you already know a lot about these devices.
Indeed.
Here. This will allow you to reach the lower tunnels.
Thank you. The Friend of the People, number 124, a political and impartial journal by Monsieur Marat. What a clever trick Monsieur de Mirabeau played on us by offering his chest to the bayonets. In the eyes of the people, the flambeau de Provence had never shone so brightly, yet the veil must be torn away, and the truth must triumph over Monsieur Riquety's tone of importance and false air of dignity. For he is nothing more than a slave of favor, a courtier, a zealous servant of authority wearing the mask of patriotism. Saint Mirabeau, who just 2 years ago would have pawned his knickers for 6 livres, is now bathing in opulence. He has just bought a mansion for the sum of 200,000 livres, which he paid in cash. He has 3 mistresses whom he lavishes with gifts, all are welcome at his table, and he has paid off his debts. At whose expense, I ask? At the expense of the nation, whose interests he has always sold to the monarch. How this wretch, whom the ignorant have canonized and whom the blind crowds insist on crowning, must laugh at his foolish worshippers. His contempt for the people's cause is so great that he no longer even bothers to conceal it. Cunning chameleon, you may change color, but you will not escape my eye. I track your skillful metamorphoses and draw the audience's attention to them so that they will no longer be dazzled by you. It is not to you, unworthy upstart, that we shall sacrifice our rights, our freedom, and our happiness. Look, that's... Well, I doubt that is a... I wish here to denounce the duplicity of the Marquis de Lafayette. The aspiring tyrant on his shoulders the confidence of a nation blinded by perfidious artifice now rests. It is well known how in previous publications I attacked the boundless ambition of Moitié. Moitié? What is not known is that he has sworn to kill me, and I have been forced to go into hiding to escape his vengeance. No reader that the regiment tasked with destroying my printing press and sent away from my home was sent by the Châtelet. If our so-called national hero can in all impunity order the soldiers of the realm under his command to oppress honest citizens, if he can use public force to settle a private quarrel, who will stop him from using these brave men against the entire people, while the French people, who look to him as their savior, think? Barring the defenders of the nation to trample all over public liberty, the Marquis can only aspire to incite a civil war. This man is unworthy to command the defenders of the nation. Citizens cannot tolerate this shocking abuse. They must guard against terrible misfortune that would be the inevitable result of this usurpation of power. I'm curious. I am extremely curious. Blah, blah, blah. Correspondence, correspondence, correspondence. Sorry, chat, I'm just going to click into another tab. Number 125. I am very curious if these are the actual I'm curious whether these are the actual iteration or the actual text of the publications. I'm guessing it's a shortened version, but I would be I'm just taking a look. Translation. The problem is that there's 700 issues of this damn thing. Are you going to... No, that's not going to have it either. Alright, well, we shall have to look elsewhere. If anyone does have links to a translation of it, I would be exceedingly curious whether these pamphlets are the actual archival texts, or if there's something else going on. Alright, Ildrum. Farewell, good luck. Oh, more things. More cutscenes. Oh. What are they doing next to the... What are they doing in Versailles?
Look at them, parading around like peacocks. These scoundrels, rotten to their very core. See how they proudly display their vices and shameful...
Was Carolingian ecclesiastical reform motivated by piety or by self-interest?
Morality through the mud, trampling love itself.
The Queen is said to have read your liaison before her husband banned it. It's hilarious, isn't it?
Number 124 and 125. 124 should be denouncing Mirabeau, 125 should be denouncing Lafayette.
More than a light-hearted bit of fluff. How naive I was to imagine that my pen could slice away the gangrene of their debauchery.
Well, fortunately, you have more than one string to your bow, mon capitaine.
Copy of Dangerous Liaisons.
This mattress is stained with blood, as is this jacket. Who could have stayed here? Monsieur Marat will surely be able to tell me.
Anyway, while we are just picking up some stuff, to answer that question, Nader Fiend, since we have a historical question about an earlier time period. Ooh. New fashion. Hello. My understanding, though Carolingian religion is not my strong suit, my understanding is that that is a distinction between the two that is alien, right? Like, between us not really having the archival material to indicate whether self-interest is the most relevant thing, and equally a kind of a lot of time happening between the two, right? Or a lot of time happening afterwards that muddies the waters, right? People remembering Carolingian reforms than the Carolingians themselves did. The distinction I don't find to be super duper meaningful, right, between having piety or self-interest, and the answer is, of course, most likely that it is both, right? The time has come for what is sure to be a decisive battle. Hardened by the weeks spent in the underground, we are now ready to defend Montmartre, our last stronghold. It will be us or the machine that has made our ranks. We have chosen the battlefield for our fight. Despite their dwindling numbers, the first company is already hard at work sabotaging the floor of the Great Cavern. It's up to us whom fate has chosen to carry out this most perilous mission, to lure the enemy there and trap it. There's not a dreamer among us who hopes to survive. We go with our to our deaths with hearts bursting for love for our nation. Vive la France, vive Louis Philippe I, King of the French. But yeah, did that answer your question, Nader? Right, my stance is that it's not super meaningful, but it is most likely a mixture of both. Alright, Marat, I have some questions. Not yet.
I am working.
That's the only way. The mechanism is.
Who laid on this blood-stained mattress?
Oh, it's a strange story. I suppose you heard about what happened in Place Dauphine?
Yes.
Indeed. I went there.
Well, we took in one of the survivors of the massacre. The only survivor, it seems. Despite his serious injuries, he was particularly attractive.
What did he tell you?
He kept saying that Lafayette was a traitor in the king's pay. That the flaxen-haired hero had deliberately handed his brand new National Guard over to the Ottomans.
LMAO.
What evidence did your guest have?
Nothing substantial, unfortunately. It was based on a
LMAO.
rumor that was circulating in the camp shortly before the Royal Army attacked. It would appear that several volunteers carried a yellow cartridge in their cartridge pouches. Most likely a subtle way for the conspirators to recognize each other. The subsequent disaster would tend to confirm this hypothesis. Vous ne croyez pas?
These are suspicions. Nothing more.
Right you are. Oh, if only I had proof of this conspiracy. Then I'd be able to scutter the ambitions of that cur.
Do you think I'm going to side with you over my boy Lafayette?
The dictator's plans would be foiled.
I must get to the bottom of this urgently.
Very well. I encourage you to do so.
Honestly.
But remember that the Marquis could not have acted alone. If you can't find anything implicating him, look into the members of his staff. Start in Place Dauphine, where those brigands sullied the ground with their boots.
Honestly.
Monsieur Marat, did you take part in an operation that aimed to kidnap the Dauphin and his sister Charlotte?
Me? Take part in an operation? Nonsense. My only weapon is my pen, and I have sharpened it.
Well, we are great at interrogating
That
people,
said,
aren't we?
did receive some information concerning the children. Unfortunately, I'm sworn to secrecy. If such an operation did indeed take place, Monsieur de Leclos would have been the one behind it. Alas, I fear that he is no longer of this world. There is little doubt that he and his men fell in the galleries.
Dites-moi, Monsieur Marat, what exactly are you doing hiding in a quarry?
I've made a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
In
Bailly,
fact,
Necker, Lafayette,
denounced the corrupt, and those who corrupt them.
Lavoisier.
families cheat the weak and bleed the nation dry. Chief among them, that crook Lafayette.
You know, our boys.
A career soldier who thinks he's Caesar, not content to maintain an army of rats. This Blondin has all the Châtelet's judges in his pocket. It seems my prose upset him, as he swore to hunt me down. If I hadn't fled, I'd have been done for, there's no doubt about that.
Who are your compagnons?
Patriots who come and go in the quarries throughout the city, under the command of Monsieur.
You'll notice, one of the things
There are
this
few left.
game is trying to communicate is just how
Before the machines
utterly
take over
fractious.
the place, find me. My hours are numbered. Mais vous-même, have you found any companions for yourself?
I'm not certain, Monsieur.
It's as if all the patriots in the kingdom have already perished. I'm afraid we don't have a chance.
Who is Monsieur de Leclos?
A brilliant writer whose pen has shaken the old world, but is also an experienced military engineer. who has sworn his sword to our common cause, to his great misfortune, it would appear. There is little
No,
doubt
don't
that
worry.
he died
He's
leading
merely
his men
the
to
giant
his
robot that is the problem. Also, if you think I'm going to tell you about the Cordelia Convent, where all of the people who hate you currently are, plus Robespierre. Nah. Nah.
Thanks to what I learned from Monsieur Marat, I will use the mobile walkway to reach the lower levels.
And we'll just
However,
put that in
that
place.
should have fixed the walkway.
And then we'll summon that. And then we'll use that to go down. Oh, good. Going down. Goodbye. I'm curious to see, right? I would need to do some exploration in this, but this does start to feel like the part of the game, where they are starting to let us kind of choose which factions we want to be supporting. I'd be curious to see how much of a difference that makes, if that makes any difference, in the overall pathing of the game, and how our situation winds up. Because I think it goes without saying that, that having a superpowered robot on your side would make a bit of a difference in the disputes, and the, you know, eventual political triumph and then catastrophic collapse of the more radical parties of the French Revolution. Ow. Did you just drop from the ceiling on me? Strictly unnecessary. You know? Strictly unnecessary. Ow. You don't need to be like this. Dang it, I didn't get the bullet off. There we are. 2, 3, and boom. And then boom. Oh, heck. Boom. Okay. Well, this is a scary fight. Rolled. Ow. I also got rolled. Wait. Alright, now it's just one. That's fine. We can do just one. I do need you to get into a slightly better position than that, though. Ow. Great. We did it. And for our troubles, we get a shiny. God, these fights are kinda rough. Like, they are not going easy with these fights. Collie guy. Alright. I guess we can have sandals if we want. As a treat. We can have Roman sandals as a treat. That seems fine. I assume this is the third piece. Cutscene? Cutscene. Once again, chat. Does the clothes survive this?
Monsieur Laclos, the Duc d'Orléans' faithful retainer. He was to prepare the way for his takeover, and now he has become one of the king's most bloodthirsty automats. How ironic.
This dude seems to be voting that no, he does not survive this. Given the, you know, skull. Well, here we go. Here, wait. Here. Thank you. Here we go. Up. And sit down. Why don't we heal up that? And then onward to our next thing. And after we beat this next boss, that will be where we call it a stream, because we've been going for 3 hours. Already, somehow. This stream has gone by fast. Ow. Hello? Let me up! Let me up! Beautiful. Okay. Onwards and downwards, upwards, onwards and towards bosses. I guess. The bosses have not been too hard to date, but we'll see how that goes for us. Ooh, Zoe, you found it. Incredible. Okay, that does not do a lot. Alright, alchemical does not seem to be particularly the way here. I like having the ranged option, but it doesn't seem to be particularly impactful. Immobilization's going significantly there went the damage list. Ow. Let's put some space between us, eh? Get over here. Alright, that looks like it's saying something different. I did not catch all of it, but it is perhaps at least in vibe correct, if not in detail. But hey, we just rolled that. What a good job on that fight. That felt very good. And there's that shard of the Philosopher's Stone, kaboom, and we move on. You're happy to run the entirety of the essays from 124 and 125 through that?
Ready. Fire at will.
So chat, by the way, Leclos survives this. He dies in 1803.
Bayonets. Fix bayonets.
The fighting has stopped. It's over. Voyez, the huntress Diana appeared to us. She's the one who saved you.
But the troops. Where are the troops?
You are the only
Also,
survivor.
Magistress, I don't know if you're still around, but you've been wanting a nice outfit.
We're so close.
I think Leclos
Those
has gotten that top tier bright colored outfit
A battalion would have been unable to defeat them.
on Vibe already.
Forced to retreat. Chased into these tunnels by the automats.
His attack on the Bastille.
Madness to attempt an attack on the Bastille.
You're wrong. I'm a military man. It was a bold maneuver, but it was a calculated risk. After all, that old fortress is a pile of stones with no buffers, curtain walls, or bastions. As for its garrison, our agents were certain. Only a handful of veterans should have been there. A single charge should have sufficed to disperse them, but the king made other arrangements. He increased the fortress's defenses and placed a swarm of automats at the service of a terrible machine.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you launch this attack?
3 of our companions were...
Feels odd that he's calling us Diana when we are actually associated with Athena.
Agents.
Spies, if you prefer. We, the supporters of the Duc d'Orléans, have always worked in the shadows, within the Queen's entourage, in the tribunes of the Estates General, among the patriots.
It is
clubs,
definitely
amongst the
weird.
rank and file.
We have
But also the comparison of
What machinations?
figures
did
to
you discover?
other classical beings
Enough to make
feels
Monseigneur
very
Lafayette's
on
ink
period.
and bring down our rivals. Necker's speculations, Lafayette's dishonorable behavior, Mirabeau's corruption, and many darker secrets.
Uh-huh.
Such as Lafayette's plot to rescue the Dauphin and his sister Charlotte.
How on earth do you know that?
She seems as well informed as we are.
Yeah. Oh. Our game has bugged. The Duke in Liège would have been used as bargaining chips. One of our men was part of the entourage of the child's governess, Madame de Polignac. We knew that they were to secretly leave Versailles, and we knew where they were to meet the escort that would take them to Austria. I sent 4 of my men to watch the rendezvous point. When the time came when they tried to take the children, the automats were ready. By all appearances, Lafayette and the Queen had been betrayed. I lost 3 of my men. Only one was able to escape and return to Montmartre. He was the one who brought me word of this unmitigated disaster. As for the children, the machine seized them and set off towards Versailles. No doubt they've been reunited with their father.
Once again, the king has won.
That won't always be the case. But right now I have something urgent I must do. Tell me about this machine that guards the Bastille.
We were prepared to face an enemy, not an executioner.
Mhm.
That thing, half butcher's block, half stocks, was designed
It's a
to
guillotine!
make heads roll.
The machine is a guillotine. Half butcher's block, half stocks. That is 100% a guillotine.
Who captured you, monsieur?
There was some confusion in the fray, but Cagliostro was in charge. He was the one who
It's
wanted to
about
be
time,
shot in
just-
that coffin.
Right.
His
It's
father was
about
that
damn
awful
time
place.
that we got the guillotine in our French Revolution
After
game.
that, everything is a series of blurred visions with a voice that ordered me to kill again and again.
I intend to enter the Bastille and free Monsieur de Vaucanson.
For what possible reason, mon Dieu?
She claims that he's the only one who can stop the machines.
Indeed, it's possible. In that case, if you're ready to face the abomination that blocked my path and slaughtered my lieutenants, then
This
don't
isn't going to be the last boss.
Let's not
This
stay
dude.
much longer, Marat.
Right, we don't have Versailles yet. There's no way this is the last
Still
one.
some wine left, n'est-ce pas?
More than enough, Leclos. More than enough.
Wonderful. We'll drink to our broken dreams until this finally comes to an end.
Find a way out of the quarry. Huh. You know, I didn't think that far ahead. I'll be honest. Forward, only way to go. Oh. Well, that's straightforward enough. What was stopping the Centaur from using this the whole time? Yeah, Zoe, please do. Please do. Like, it is an appreciated design choice, but, feels weird that we could have just left this entire time. Just walk away. Oh.
Here you are at last. This is where the path to the Bastille begins. And to think, I would have never
never thought you'd make it this far. Cependant, I would advise you not to rush. The fighting in these tunnels has weakened the structure. If you go in there, I'm afraid you won't be able to turn back. Delor, I have just one bit of advice to give you. Before going any further, make sure you're not leaving behind any unfinished business.
Alright, maybe we are coming up on the ends.
That you've not fully met. I shall return to my hiding place. In these unsure times, you can never be too careful. Ne croyez-vous pas?
Okay, maybe the Bastille will be the end then, because, yeah, that says the end, the end. We are not going to enter that, we are just going to take a nap here. And then go over back the way we came. In order to get out of here. Because we have some things to turn in next time. Beautiful. Alright, and that is, with that great success, we are going to wrap up for the stream. Obviously, there's a lot of juicy political intrigue. I will attempt to look up some of that stuff before next stream. Please do remind me about that if you're in the Discord. Do consider heading, reminding me to look into the Duc d'Orléans in the, French Revolution before next stream. I am busy and forgetful. It's a very problematic habit of mine. But anyway, this was so much fun. Thank you to everyone who cheered bits, chatted, gifted subs, hung out. It is very appreciated. Doubly big thanks, of course, to our patrons listed here who make this all possible. And if you want to follow them, do follow the link in the description if you're on YouTube, in order to support me for as little as $2 a month. We've got some big projects coming up, and so the support is appreciated. Anyway, we will be back with this later this week, so I will see you all then for more Steelrising. Until then, have a good rest of your evening, good rest of your work week.